Hey there. I get a pretty common email, usually around the beginning of the semester from students, and it's a real important thing that I want to address here. It deals with test anxiety. And this is really something to really look at if you do feel a certain degree of anxiety before a test that kind of feels inhibiting, almost crippling. Um, it's that experience where you know the material, but you go to take a test and you forget about everything, right? And so this is a very common experience for students. Um, and the good news is it's, I think, easily addressed if you do a few things. First, the first thing you want to do when you feel anxious before taking a test is you want to ask yourself a simple question. Did I prepare for this exam? Right? If the answer is no, or I did, but I could have done better, like if you just were on for a couple hours, copying and pasting a few things here and there, barely read, didn't really look at the videos too much, took no notes, right? If the answer is that, or didn't even look at the material, no, I did not prepare, then you have nothing to be anxious about. You know you're going to not do well on the test. Now, if the answer is yes, to a certain degree, again, you have nothing to worry about. If you sincerely prepared for the exam, you put in the necessary time, took notes, practiced the essays, and that's always key. You want to practice writing these essays. You want to practice, they are timed, so you want to practice typing them out timed, right? You should be able to write a 5 to 8 paragraph essay within 60 minutes, right? So practice that a couple of times before the next exam with a timer and see where you get. You'll notice that you'll do better if you do it a couple of times in different sittings, right? So if the answer is yes, then you have nothing really to worry about. But you're still going to feel that icky feeling, right? Test anxiety. So there's a couple of things you can do, all right? First one, very easy. It's just breathe. And there's nothing really to learn here. There's a lot of spiritual gurus out there selling techniques on how to breathe and all of this kind of stuff. You see Oprah pushing this kind of stuff. There's nothing really to learn here. You know how to breathe. Right? But there is something to be said about conscious breathing, right? And you just simply, before the test, you can do whatever way you want, but before the test, what I would advise you to do, this works for me. If I'm feeling anxious about something, if I have to give a talk in front of a bunch of people, if I have to write a paper, right? I'm going back to school, so I know what this feeling is like. I sit down and just take 10 deep breaths. And do that 10 times. Right? You will immediately feel relaxed. And on this exam, do that 10 breaths, and then you're going to be, in exam 2, you're going to be asked to write on 2 different essays. So in between writing the essays, take a couple of breaths before you do it. And you will immediately feel more relaxed. Your muscle, and the thing you want to do too, that's helpful for me at least, try this out, is when you inhale, take that time as you're inhaling to see where you're holding tension, right? Just to see, like, is it your face? And then if it is, you're all scrunched up like that, right? Or if it's your shoulders are all up like this, and oh, my shoulders, right? My face. And then on the exhale, just relax that to the best of your ability. Sometimes it's really difficult, so don't stress about just trying to relax. But, you might still have a little tension on the exhale, but just being conscious of it, you'll notice that some of that tension will begin to release, right? So that's one thing to do. And the other thing to do is, if you have prepared and you're feeling anxious, just to transform that energy and really look at, well, what's going on with my body? My heart's racing, my hands are sweating, right? Why is my body doing that? And for me, the answer is my body is preparing my mind to do something that is important, right? So it's just my body's way of saying, hey, this is important. Pay attention. Pay attention to what you're doing, right? And so if you can see why it is your body's kind of doing weird things, getting all anxious and just feeling kind of icky, then that icky feeling can transform into a constructive energy. Like, oh, yeah, this is important. I know the material. Here I go. I'm breathing. I'm going to use this energy to pay attention, right? So those are a couple of things you can do. If it helps, great. If not, you want to chat with me about test anxiety, about specific things, feel free to get a hold of me. Other than that, I've graded all of the exams so far that have come in, and I'm working on the taking sides at this point. Do remember, exam 2, you can improve your score for exam 1. So if you didn't do it or you got a score that you could have done better, just focus on what you need to do. Now you have a little bit of time to go back through all of the lectures and the lectures for week 2. Give yourself some time. It's still a lot of material. Space it out, budget your time accordingly. But for exam 2, you can get your score up for exam 1. So work on that, focus on that if that's where you're at in this class. Like you could have done better for week 1. And if you didn't do well for week 1, it's understood. It was a short week, so kind of chuck all of that behind you and just focus on what's ahead. All right, that's enough talking from me. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.